Yo, what's good, everyone? Chapter 1038 has just dropped, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit rusty. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been able to really work on any videos for the past week or so because my laptop has been going through a ton of technical issues, but I'm back. Hopefully, this isn't that jarring compared to some of the other videos I've done, but just wanted to do that immediately. What I just want to say at the start is this chapter was kind of interesting. For a chapter literally titled Kid-in-Law versus Big Mom, I was kind of shocked at how little Kid-in-Law versus Big Mom there was. I assume, obviously, there's going to be another chapter of this, but at the same time, Oda does this very, very often, where all the chapters that are named blank versus blank usually means the end of the fight. So seeing that Big Mom obviously got some really crazy hits from Law and Kid at the ending section of this chapter, I'm not really sure where exactly this is gonna go. I did think that the action and choreography was pretty cool. Kid making this cool bull neck I liked a lot, and Law slicing through Big Mom's face was really sick. And I also really liked the little iron bar homies that Big Mom made. I thought they were really funny. They reminded me a lot of the one fish brother, Shirahoshi's one brother, the Fasolati Do one, not the Mambo one, the one with the really skinny head. They reminded me a lot of him, so I thought that was very funny, like especially with the way their mouth moves. I don't know why, but I just thought that was a fun detail. But for the ending section of the chapter, the title section of the chapter, it was really cool. I loved this one quote that Kid said, where Kid essentially says, even though Kaido is still fighting up there, I know he's eventually reaching a breaking point. You say you are invincible, but if you have a mountain and it just keeps raining and raining, eventually that mountain is going to fade away. I thought that was a really great way of wording the type of fights that are going on, not just with Kid and Law, but also Luffy, because honestly, Kaido has been being destroyed by so many people. He has fought dozens of people in this arc, yet he's still going. But Kaido will eventually weaken, you know? He's eventually gonna show some cracks in the facade, you know? So definitely really excited to see where exactly this goes. I don't assume this will be the end of their fight, but it honestly has been pretty neat. I like this motivation that Kid has. He's so determined. He actually does, you know, and a lot of people obviously think the same way. That's a very Luffy type thing to say, you know, eventually they're gonna go. And it's a great comparison to Luffy. Now, I don't know if this is gonna lead to anything super crazy for Kid later on in this arc. A lot of people think that he has Conqueror's Haki, and maybe he'll have Advanced Conqueror's Haki because he's so similar to Luffy, and that could be a pretty good way of showing it, but again, not entirely sure if that's going to happen. So honestly, this fight was pretty cool. I don't think it's over. If it is, I'm honestly genuinely pretty surprised that the Big Mom fight ended before Rizo's fight, before the Yamato bomb stuff. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it had so much build up, and seeing it end right now would be kind of weird, but it was cool, and I would like to see it still go. I'd love to see more action from Kid-in-Law and Big Mom, because these are all crazy powerful characters in the world right now, and these are the type of fights that's genuinely like, this stuff feels like really grand. Like, I know that each of the crew members usually get their own fight, but they're not like the big deal characters for the most part. Like, except for maybe Zorro and Sanji, no one really fights the big deal character of the arc. Usually it's just a servant of the big deal character, you know. But you know what I mean. Sorry if that's kind of rambly, but I'm just trying to see like more of these fights that are just insane. Like Kid, Law, and Big Mom, it has a sort of Marineford level energy to it, where these are characters that we've known for so long and we know are crazy powerful with these crazy abilities. We're seeing them go against each other. It's something like a fighting game, you know, a dream matchup. So I would love to see more of this overall. Now, like I said, the Kid, Law, and Big Mom stuff wasn't really the majority of the chapter. there's still a lot of setup that was going on in the beginning half, so I'm going to talk about some things that I thought were actually pretty cool, or just things I thought were interesting overall. Now, the Rizo Fukurokuju fight is somehow still going on, but I'm not gonna lie, I did really like the way that Oda opened this chapter with it. Rizo is literally burning alive, and that was pretty shocking to see. And Fukurokuju is about to start burning alive, saying, oh, you gotta release the spell, you gotta release it, we're both gonna die. But Rizo, he is so in the zone, he is so determined to stop him. And I think this shows the difference in loyalty between Rizo and the Scabbards and Orochi's servants and Orochi. Because honestly, Fukurokuju is important. I'm going to put the biggest air quotes ever. Important, but obviously he's not a big deal like Kaido or Orochi, like actual villains. He's just a servant. He doesn't really feel loyal to Orochi like many other people, obviously, because they don't like Orochi. They like his power. They don't respect him as a person. So seeing that sort of be interpreted in the fights with Rizo, you know, Odin's servant, and then Fukurokuju, Orochi's servant, I thought it was pretty cool. So I actually somehow really enjoyed something from a Rizo fight, even though it was so little. I think it said a lot with literally no dialogue. Rizo doesn't even speak in the scene. He's just panting and super focused. So genuinely pretty cool. Next is the Zorro stuff, because that was genuinely super fire. Zorro is essentially, he's done. He's fought King. He's not done, like he's not like knocked out, but he can't move for some reason. And it's kind of like at the end of Eni's lobby, where Chopper literally can't move whatsoever, and he wants to, but he can't, after having Monster Point for the first time. And Zorro literally sees the Grim Reaper, and honestly, it was really sick. I don't know if this is some vision. I really hope it's not some stupid gag, because it was really intense out of nowhere. So very exciting stuff. I wonder what's going to happen, because Zorro, obviously after defeating King, said, oh, I'll just become the King of Hell. And the Grim Reaper, being a very important figure in death, mythological, you know, characters and imagery, I think that would be a really cool connection, especially because Enma is usually related to Hell as well. So seeing Zorro maybe fully learn to channel Enma, maybe he'll turn Enma into a black blade to stop the Grim Reaper, that would be pretty sick. So very much looking forward to that. But it would be honestly really cool if it was the Wado Ichimoji that he turned into a black blade, because obviously that is much more resonance with Zorro's past and his relationship to Kuina. I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool, so I'm actually very excited to see what happens with this Zorro stuff as well, even though it kind of relates to Chopper and the Minx, which I didn't really care about. Now Chopper, he's back to normal. Hopefully he gets to do some more action, maybe in the Monster Point form, that he has control over it. He can maybe go back to it, cause some damage. Maybe some of the other numbers, I think they're still kicking around with Apu, so maybe he'll be able to stop them as well. Seeing Chopper do more things in this arc would be very appreciated. Same thing with Usopp. I would love to see Usopp do more things as well, because I feel like it was kind of, not a shame, but like, you know, just a bit like, oh well, that they didn't get a fight with the Tobiropo member, but hopefully they do more as the arc continues, which I believe they will. Now next is the Yamato stuff with Kazenbo. Honestly, this stuff hasn't really been super compelling to me, but I do think that Yamato going after it, cool. I like that the Kazenbo thing seems to be sentient in a way. It literally said Orochi-sama. It has a hand now. I'm wondering if this is meant to be like a ghost of Kanjuro perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. Kanjuro is maybe still kicking. He seems to be very badly wounded, obviously, and this is like his final message to Orochi and trying to stop them, like a vengeful spirit sort of thing, but I'm not really sure. But that stuff, it's cool. I was kind of shocked that after Kazenbo said Orochi-sama, we didn't just cut to Orochi and Hiyori. I thought that would have been a pretty good transition, but overall, I don't know, the Yamato plotline with the bombs isn't really that compelling to me. I don't know. Yamato's cool, but like this stuff feels like a really forced kind of like time limit when there already is a crazy important time limit with obviously the flower capital falling onto Wano. That's a big deal. And remember, the bombs always kind of, it was to me. I don't really see the reasoning for it, if that makes sense. But I want Yamato to sort of push this plotline further. Maybe Yamato is going to run into Orochi, since, you know, Kazenbo mentioned Orochi by name. Maybe Orochi's nearby, because I remember that he is in the lower levels of Onigashima, sort of continuing to set fires more and more. But then he got distracted after seeing Komurasaki, well, Hiyori, but in the Komurasaki disguise. So maybe he's nearby. That would be pretty cool, especially because Yamato, Oden, Orochi, I don't know. I think that could be cool. And the last thing that I want to talk about is the stuff with Izo and Cypher Pole. I thought that was very interesting because, one, I like seeing the strong determination that the Whitebeard pirates have to continue just, you know, protecting the Straw Hats. Obviously, that was Whitebeard's final sort of message. Leave, protect Luffy, you know. And seeing them still continue this idea of they don't have to protect Luffy, but they feel like he is the man that Whitebeard was looking for, that Roger was looking for. He's the man that's going to change the world. And seeing that Izo is going to stop Cypher Pole Zero, some crazy important characters, from getting to the Straw Hats, I just think it's really cool. And I'm excited to see what could happen with Izo and Cypher Pole. Not sure it's going to be shown on screen like how it was with Drake and Apu, but I am excited. And this allows for Robin and Brook to get more of a lead against Cypher Pole. But who knows? There was only 2 of the 3 members with them, so looking forward to seeing what's going on. And yeah, that's really it from me. I thought this was a cool chapter. Shocking amount of setup, so I do not think that the Big Mom stuff is over in this arc at all. She's way too important of a character to be taken out right now, I think, because there are so many other fights still going on that I feel like Big Mom is going to be taking out either not at all or right before Kaido. You know, taken out meaning temporarily. I still think she'll definitely be in the narrative after this arc, but meaning just the order of importance, because Luffy's fight always ends last. That's just how arcs go. But yeah, that's it from me. I thought this was a cool chapter. A lot of setup. The action at the end was pretty cool. And yeah, overall, definitely an enjoyable chapter, and was shocked that it came this early. So that was nice as well. I'm wondering what you thought of the chapter. I thought it was cool, but I would love to know your favorite moment, probably outside of Kid Law and Big Mom stuff, because it was pretty sick. But maybe, what are you looking forward to the most in the next chapter, which seems to be next week as well. And I'm genuinely hoping that we get a lot of these continuations, specifically the Zorro thing. Also, I really liked that this chapter was mostly Big Mom centric, when last chapter was mostly Kaido and Luffy centric. I felt like that was a really cool kind of parallel between this and the last chapter to show the worst generation versus the Yonko. Really, really sick, and yeah. So that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do and want to see more One Piece anime content overall, consider subbing to the channel. Any support is greatly appreciated. Have a good one.